Hi there, greetings and salutations. My name is Jake Query. That is Derek Schultz. Yeah, Derek.
Hello.
You got to work on the grin.
Hi.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I like your shorts today, by the way.
Yeah.
Might be time
Look
to.
good. My legs look good.
Yeah, it might be in time to invest in
Look
a
at
little
that.
tanning cream, just so you know.
Yeah, I might need a little bit of that.
This is episode number, is it 86?
86.
Bobby Rahal, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you know what Bobby Rahal is the only driver to have done in an Indianapolis 500-mile race victory?
I have no idea.
He's not the only one to drink a beverage before the milk, but he did do that.
Oh, what do you drink?
Well, he was sponsored by Budweiser.
Okay.
And they gave him a Budweiser, and it wasn't it was like you take 12.
Well, I wasn't drinking Zima that early.
18?
15. So meet me halfway there. Yeah.
The first time you tasted a Zima?
The first time I tasted a Zima, I felt it was love at first sight. Love at first taste. Loved it.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the first time I tasted vodka, a little bit of a different story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he just did it quick, and then he did the milk. But Bobby Rahal in 1986 turned the fastest lap of the race, which was the 200th lap. He is the only driver to have won the race after turning the fastest lap of the race on the final lap of the race.
Wow.
There you go.
So you talk about kind of like reaching back.
Yeah, saving the best for last, right?
You would know. Was that a close finish at all, or was it clear in the final lap that he was going to win?
What happened in the 86 race was Bobby Rahal was actually running behind. Kevin Cogan was in the lead, Rick Mears and Bobby Rahal, and they had a restart with 3 laps to go. That was when Sam Posey famously went to Kevin Cogan in the ABC radio, said, "Kevin, Sam Posey, ABC," over the radio thing. "What are you thinking?" As they were going behind the pace car, and Kevin Cogan said, "I'm kind of busy right now. I'll talk to you after." And then they went green, and Bobby Rahal
shot
right
by
past
everybody.
him.
Yeah,
went on to the win. Great race. That race was delayed until the second weekend because of rain in the initial running. But we're set now. It is the month of May. It's been the month of May for a while, but finally going to get going in terms of track activity for the Oval. We'll talk about what happened with the Grand Prix. But, Derek, we begin with, and by the way, thank you to Bailey & Wood, the presenting sponsor of Query and Schultz. And, of course, we are in the Lou Malnati's studio, where we are going to talk about the schedule release for the Indianapolis Colts, Derek. It came out what seems like forever ago, but we haven't gotten a chance really to talk about it.
No, and you already knew who the opponents were going to be. What you didn't know was how the schedule was going to lay out, and you didn't know what the primetime games are going to look like. So I'm happy to report, after complaining about it for many years, the lack of home primetime games for the Colts. It's 2-2, but they have 2 Monday Night Football games, so the Colts will host a Monday Night Football game for the first time since the 2015 season.
And they will be hosting Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
And then who was the other one?
Chargers.
The Chargers. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Both of those would be good games.
The Chargers are interesting because I think Justin Herbert's a massive talent, and they've got a lot of talent. And you forget, last year basically it was a coin flip between the Chargers and the Raiders to get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the Raiders ended up winning that finale and going into the playoffs. But nonetheless, here's what jumped out at me on the schedule. And I know for the Colts it has been a stumbling block getting out of the gate every single year. It's like their cleats are tied when they get out of the block. 8 straight years now? 7 straight years losing in week 1, something like that?
They haven't won an opener since 2013, I think was the last time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But I kind of like opening, getting 2 divisional road games out of the way.
Yeah, me too.
And in addition to that, I do think sometimes that going on the road can bond a group together and they can kind of play well. They got to get that first, then they come home and they open at home with Kansas City. So that first 3-game stretch is intriguing. But, man, if you can get out of that at minimum at 2-1 and even 3-0, Derek, you're in really good shape.
For sure. And just the fact that they have 5 division games in the first 8 weeks is insane. I don't remember them ever having a schedule like that where you're pretty much maybe not going to know for sure, but you're going to have a really good idea of if the Colts are going to win the division by Halloween because that's the way that the schedule sets out. The flip side of playing at Houston and at Jacksonville, at Houston week 1, the Texans don't know that they stink yet. So they're still out there thinking, hey, we're going to be pretty good. Whereas if you get Houston week 10, you already know that they suck.
Who is going to be quarterbacking the Texans?
Well, I'm assuming, for week 1, it'll be Davis Mills.
Does that really worry anybody?
He played pretty well, I thought, all things considered.
Terrible. He's not terrible.
That roster stinks.
It's awful.
Yeah, the roster stinks.
Name 4 Texans.
Ugh. I don't even know if I can do that right now. You know what?
Arian Foster?
I'll tell you this. When the season ends,
Jadeveon Clowney?
tell me if you do this. No, Clowney's been gone for a long time. So
J.J. Watt?
Foster. Please stop.
Tony Baselli?
When the season ends, I mentally flip a
Steve
switch in
McKinney?
my head where it goes off for me for a while. I know that the NFL has become this
Sage Rosenfeld?
365-day thing per year, but for me, I hit the off switch for a while, and then I don't really pay a lot of attention to what
Matt
the other
Schaub?
teams are doing. I'm fully immersed in what the Colts are doing and what the needs that they have and the holes that they have to fill and all of that. And so I need to kind of reset my brain, and I usually do that around training camp time of, oh, okay, this is the new quarterback here. This is the new wide receiver here. This is what this team looks like. That is what that team looks like. And in these wilderness months here, post-draft immediately, I haven't yet given myself that refresher course.
I'm out of Texans.
Did you call him Dave Carr?
David Carr.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't know. But somebody might have called him Dave, like his buddies. Hey, Dave.
He might have been calling himself Dave after a couple of years, right?
It was a rough career for David Carr.
I'm going to be the old guy here, Derek, yelling at clouds, and I apologize for that. I know that people are anticipating and they're excited about the schedule to see where their team plays and if they have home. But the NFL, and I'll give them credit, the NFL has done a masterful job at this of making themselves relevant. Every month there's something different on the NFL calendar that is appointment viewing, et cetera, et cetera. This schedule release stuff to me has completely jumped the shark.
But they wouldn't do it like this if people didn't go crazy for it.
Listen, I get it. I get why people
fault.
are excited to see the schedule. But people asking okay, let's go week to week, win or loss. What do you think? Colts week 6 and Raiders, win or loss?
It's really stupid.
I mean,
it's really stupid to just. It was especially stupid when, if I'm not mistaken, the schedule release used to be before the draft, so you'd have it in April. I think COVID is what pushed the schedule release back. If I'm not Rake, do you know am I right about? Yeah, see, he's giving me the thumbs up. So I did have that mentally right. Yeah. Where you used to be picking wins and losses, and you're like, we haven't even drafted yet.
Here's the number one important thing in the Colts schedule this year. For Colts fans, this is what you should have been the most concerned about with the Colts schedule release. When they said they were releasing the schedule, it's what you should have had your pen, your paper, and you were sitting right there waiting, right? You were looking at your phone. You were zoned in. The number one priority for you with the Colts schedule release was and is, when do they play in Las Vegas? Right?
I thought you were going to say 6-0 because that's the biggest thing to me. Win the division games. I'm not even sweating the rest of the stuff.
I get that.
Win all 6.
But for fans, honestly,
for sure,
most fans are like, okay, we want to take a trip to Vegas to go see the
like
Colts.
to look to
and that's
see
cool.
where because. And no offense, I mean, Nashville's a cool place and all of that, but the division isn't the most luxurious of the travel destinations or, no one, man, I've always wanted to go to Tennessee Stadium or Houston Stadium and see a road game. Nobody cares about that. Now, it's the leftover division, right? But you want to go to Soldier Field or you might want to go to, I don't know, Lambeau, obviously, or
how about
some
New
of those
York,
examples.
Derek? You can go to New York and I can't remember if the game is January 1st or December 31st, but you can tie it around standing in Times Square.
Yeah.
Watch the ball drop.
Do the most overrated thing in human history. Go for New Year's Eve in Manhattan.
But you've done it, right?
Once, and it was... You can't move. You have to pee the whole time. It stinks.
Why do you have to pee the whole time?
Because everyone shuts down their public restrooms. So you basically have to be a paying customer to go. They all have signs that say no restroom, no restroom, no restroom, no restroom, no restroom. And you can't move. So if there were facilities around me like portalettes or something, I have no idea because there's 10 billion people behind me and 10 billion people in front of me. And it's cold.
What time did you get there?
We got there mid to late afternoon. 4 o'clock.
For midnight?
Yeah. So we thought that we were like, oh, yeah, we're real early. No. Then, we were not early at all.
So what do you do for 8 hours?
Stand.
I mean,
you stand there.
They have entertainment?
I mean, they have the video screens. It's not as this was 25 years ago. So I don't think they're as interactive as it now. You walk to Times Square now, and I haven't been there in like 5 or 6 years, but it feels like you're in the middle of a TV studio.
Okay,
so it's just everywhere.
So if you were to, like, if I were to go to the Colts-Giants game.
Yeah.
And at 11 o'clock, I'm like, I'm just going to get off the subway train and start walking towards the vicinity of Times Square and kind of skirt my way in from the side. No go or possible?
Oh, I don't think it would be very possible. Now, they may have changed. This was pre 9/11.
Right. I get
it. This is
how
a
old
long
were you?
time
How old
ago.
were you again?
I was. It was 90. Well, actually, I kind of went in twice, but 98 was the first one, and then we went to the Billy Joel concert at the Garden, 99 going into 2000, and after that, tried to hustle back into Times Square, but the ball had already dropped at that point, so people were dispersing. It was like 12:45.
And did you have to use the bathroom?
Both times. Yeah, I did. Yeah, but I think I went on the train. Yeah, the trains had bathrooms, which are horrible. They're like airport lavatories, but dirtier. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get this off track
Oh, no, it's fine.
with that. They haven't lost to the Giants since 2002.
Look,
A little bit of trivia for you guys.
the
out
other
there if you
thing
care.
I thought that it was kind of to an advantage for the Colts is they didn't have like really tough back-to-back away games at any point, right? It's all kind of evened out. I think the toughest stretch is down around like week 6, 7, 8. They've got
they go at New England, at Vegas, back-to-back. That might be tough.
okay. That's not.
I think that's their only. Well, and then at Dallas, at Minnesota. Here's the thing, though, Jake. Like, I'm looking at this schedule here, and we think that the Chargers are going to be good. I don't know. The Chargers might stink next year. I have no idea. They might have 800 injuries, including to Herbert, and they end up 6-11. So much of this schedule stuff, it's ridiculous, not only because, A, it's so early, but B, because this league has a 50% playoff turnover.
Did you bring in the Hank Birch beer?
You're going to have a bunch of teams that were bad last year be good this year, and that were good this year be bad next year.
Did you bring this in?
Yeah, this is actually from our friends at Hoagies and Hops. So we've got the Hank's vanilla cream soda and the Birch. Which would you prefer? Do you like cream soda? Are you more of a cream soda person?
Birch beer is like root beer, right?
I think it's a little sweeter, but yes.
We could try both.
I'll do either.
I'm not.
We can share these.
No, I'm not.
If you want to.
You can pour it into something. I'm not sharing a bottle with you.
Well, the problem is that I'm growing out the mustache, so the hairs actually go right over the lip of the bottle, like right in there. Like anytime I drink anything, my lip gets wet because of the mustache.
Anytime anybody drinks anything, their lip
Or
gets
if I
wet.
eat anything. And we've got hot dogs this week from Hoagies and Hops that are a little bit messy, so I'm worried about getting them all up.
Why
in
are
there.
you growing your beard out? It looks a little ridiculous.
No, I'm growing the mustache out.
Or the mustache.
So I took the beard down a little bit so you can see, and then you can see the full glory of this guy. I think I'm going to cut it like here. I'm going to go a little bit, I don't want to go too far for obvious reasons. But, generally I just let it kind of go and sit all the way over like this whole majestic caterpillar right here. And I think I'm just going to cut the head and tail off and go a little bit shorter. I kind of want it to be, we talked about Bobby Rahal in 86. I kind of want it to be like a mid-80s level stash instead of like a biker dude
why are you
Hell's
doing
Angel
this?
stash. Because the 500's back.
Well, you're not
We're back
camping
this year.
out.
No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
then what I mean,
Well,
why?
it's my homage to the 500 for bringing it back. And by popular demand. So many people have asked me about bringing it back that I want to placate my fans.
Who's asked you this?
My fans. Yeah. Fans of the show too, but also just straight. Like there are people that listen to the show that aren't fans of you, that are just Derek Schultz fans. I hear from them a lot.
And they live in
All over the
New
world.
Hampshire or Vermont?
All over the world. Yeah. I mean, obviously I have a footprint in New England, but all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got plenty more to get to. Because I'm like you, man. Like,
Is it your footprint in New England?
You guys, thanks for watching the show. I'm talking about the Colts schedule release because that is the expectation that we talk about I would literally rather talk about anything else than a schedule release in May about the Colts.
Northwest. Littlefoot Northeast.
Okay, yeah, that's real funny. I have normal-sized feet. Colton Herta, wet and wild win at the GMR Grand Prix. We're going to talk about that, what it means for the Oval, if anything. Also, we have all of our features to get to as well. It's going to be a really fun show today. Let's thank
From
Lou
right here
Malnati's.
inside the Lou Malnati studio.
They are the title sponsor, of course, of the studio.
Derek, I saw a Lou Malnati's truck delivering some pizzas this weekend,
Yum.
and I thought to myself, somebody is going to be pleased.
That's right. We haven't had any
Fabulous.
tomato incidents since week 1, which has been nice that you've actually been mature and you've controlled yourself.
That's true.
But Lou Malnati's with 4 central Indiana locations. Our favorite in Broad Ripple, which is the dine-in location. The Greenwood location coming soon later on this summer on the south side, northwest side, 86th Street, and then up in Carmel as well. And you can order online, loumalnatis.com. It's porch weather season. They have a beautiful porch in the Broad Ripple store.
Dog friendly.
Great lunch specials. You know, we talk so much about their deep dish pies. I had a gorgonzola salad with my lunch. So I had a personal pie, sausage, and then gorgonzola salad, which is really good. One of the best salads I've ever had.
Listen, Lou Malnati's, I mean, forever, people have been either trying to mail order or going to Chicago just to get it because it's that coveted, right? No longer have to do it. Right here in central Indiana.
Dog friendly as well. Order.loumalnatis.com. I shouldn't have said anything about the tomatoes. I knew that was a mistake.
These things are wonderful.
We'll come back and talk a little racing. It is month of May, after all. It's Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Stick around.
See, I didn't throw it.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do, from Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Welcome back. Bailey & Wood presents Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Thanks so much for joining us alongside Jake Query. I am mutually respected host Derek Schultz.
Derek, by the way, Noah sends me a text.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Not,
Jake, it's
not
Noah.
mutually respected by Noah.
Heard the little fella eating on the air the other day. Made my stomach a little upset, although the sandwich looked fantastic. I hope like heck he never brings spaghetti in. I could imagine it gets messy in that hairy little beard of his.
Yeah. Well, actually, the real problem, not so much spaghetti, but I had a tuna sub the other day, and then the tuna gets into the mustache hairs. And then you don't really notice it. Like, you wipe your mouth and you think, okay, I got all the tuna out. And then, like, a couple hours later, you're like, what's that smell? And then you're like, wait a minute. I had tuna. So that's the real problem, one out of all of them. Can we talk IndyCar?
Yeah, please.
You and I got to reunite and both have a working purpose at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was great. People just go crazy for it, too. Like, other media people, when they see us together, it's a big deal. Just everybody. Everyone just thinks it's great. Well, I posted a video, kind of like the Brady Gronk video, where you're tooling me around in the golf car.
Right.
Because we're going out to your perch in turn 2. And people just went crazy for it. They just loved it.
You kind of invited yourself. I said, like, yeah, I'm going out to the turn. You're like, oh, I'll come.
No, you and Darren King of Stewart Tire and Auto,
That's
by
right.
the way, we'll have our quick hits coming up, came up to the media center on the 3rd floor where I was hosting the pre- and post-game show, and you had mentioned that. Hey, come on in.
What'd you think of the perch?
Pal? I thought it was great. I thought it was really cool. It's a little treacherous when you're walking up wet steps and then a wet ladder to a perch. How high up are you? 10 stories?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's up there.
It is.
Now, that was your old
so
500 spot,
that's
correct?
turn 2 of the oval
Okay.
where I was for couple
10
of
years?
Or
maybe not that long?
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 7, yeah.
Okay.
And that's where I call the southeast corner of the track for the road course. And I've never, Derek, been up there weather-wise. I remember when we did MotoGP, Bob Jenkins was up there, and it got really bad, and he's like, I'm coming down. Like, I'm not staying up here. And it was all of a sudden, shortly after you left, when the weather really turned, it wasn't so much the rain, it got super windy. And, I mean, I've never felt that thing. You know it's not going to go anywhere.
Sure. It's still unnerving.
But it's a little unnerving, yeah.
What did Darren think of the whole thing?
He liked it, but I told him, I go, look, man, if you want to bail, I get it. And he's like, finally, I can't. I'm taking off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And we didn't know how long we were going to be up there anyway.
Yeah.
But
But a really interesting race because of the weather. And look, I get it with racing purists. Racing purists want to see like a caution-free road course race, and they like. If you're an F1 fan, you like that follow the leader stuff, right? You like it. That's what you're used to. That was anything but on that road course. Now, it was a little messy even for me, and I thought the cautions were – I'm not like race control question guy. I thought the cautions were a little drawn out, and you heard some of the driver frustration, notably by the winner, on his team radio. But I thought overall just the drama of that race made it, I think, by far the most memorable of the 8 Grand Prix that we've seen out there.
I thought – the only thing that was peculiar to me, and I certainly understand that there has to be, they know what they're doing, but the Indy Lights race was suspended and then finished after the IndyCar race because of lightning in the area. But then the IndyCar race, like I saw lightning.
Yeah.
But it must have been really far away. I think it's an 8-mile radius or something. So wherever it was landing, it was bright.
It's amazing that it didn't intrude,
right?
Because
I think Graham Rahal
for sure that it was happening.
I think Graham Rahal said it over the radio, like, "Wait a minute, there's lightning going on here." But it must have been. I mean, obviously they know, right?
It could have been much worse. I'm just surprised looking at the weather, and I'm not a weatherman, but looking at the Doppler, you thought, okay, we're going to get hit in like 10 minutes here, and it's going to be adios, and it just never happened. Now and you mentioned Rahal. He said this last night on Wish 8 with Anthony Calhoun that he couldn't see, and now there's some talk about do we add a wiper to the aero screen?
Right.
For stuff like this. But I think overall, let's talk about the actual race result, because Colton Herta goes from, I think, 11th to 6th in points. And also one of the young guns of the series that what I found interesting, Jake, he's the guy that a lot of times is the risk taker and the one that all he needs to do is keep it together, and sometimes he can't keep it together. And he's the one that kept it together in that race and was able to, from the lead, hold on for the final 20 laps.
Good way of saying it. Not unlike Thomas Scheckter, late in races, there have been times with Herta where just a mental mistake, his focus loses for a split second and he loses the car. And in a race when you had to be dialed in the entire time, he was on it, man.
And that spin and save was absolutely incredible. If he really puts himself back in the points run, we'll talk about that as maybe something that turned his season around.
Right.
Because he very easily could have been where Newgarden or Palou. Easily could have been where Newgarden or Palou or anybody else were, because it was not a good day for the rest of the really outside of Will Power. I mean, Will Power's having a Scott Dixon season where
you're right.
Third place, fourth place, third place, fourth place, third place.
I heard Power, what he said? Yeah, I mean, a lot of top fours to get you a championship.
He's not wrong.
I know.
What's so impressive to me about him is the 64 poles is insane. It's not something that I think people think of. They think of wins and they think of championships and they think of 500s. But to be 3 away from being able to call yourself the fastest American open wheel driver ever to break Mario Andretti's record, which was like the DiMaggio hitting streak, of racing records, is pretty incredible.
Derek, we now shift gears, pardon the pun, from the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the oval. The time is finally here, the week of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Practice beginning with rookie orientation and refreshers and that kind of thing on Tuesday, if you're watching this, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Fast Friday, qualifying Saturday and Sunday, which means, Derek, 1 week from tomorrow, as we're taping this on Monday, will be the fastest rookie luncheon, where the fastest rookie qualifier will be honored. It could be Romain Grosjean. It could be Jimmy Johnson. It could be any number of different drivers. Christian Lundgaard. But nonetheless, the American Dairy Association of Indiana presents each and every week our winners of the week. And, of course, the winner of the Indianapolis 500 will take the ceremonial swig of milk. That's a tradition that began with Louis Meyer. It's the greatest tradition of sports, obviously, in sports. Chocolate milk, great post-workout beverage because it has, Derek, as much vitamin A as?
A bunch of spinach.
2 cups of spinach, that's right. As much protein as?
2 hard-boiled eggs.
That is correct. And as much potassium as?
A banana.
That is correct. And none of those things come with the thirst-quenching, fabulous taste of ice-cold chocolate milk. Your dairy farmers throughout Indiana working hard for you 24/7, 365 to make sure that you have the milk right there for you. What are you doing?
Well, chocolate milk is my post-workout drink, so I'm just showing off.
What are you, Scotty Russo over there?
Showing off what we got here. Some nice tries. It's a little hard to see through the shirt, but you can trust me that it's veiny and muscly and sexy underneath that cloth there, that thin piece of cloth.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Our Winners Drink Milk winner of the week, Derek, is?
I chose Connor Daly.
Okay.
He had his best ever road course qualifying run. I think he was P6, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he was P4. Sorry, I guess I should have looked that up beforehand. He ended up finishing the race
5, wasn't it?
5th. Well, he finished 5th.
Okay.
Which also was a great finish for Connor, especially considering at around lap 10, he just fell like a rock. And there were some questions. Okay, is this like a fuel strategy thing, or did he just lose his line?
There was some talk he was conserving fuel.
Okay, what's the deal here? Because he literally dropped 11 spots in like 2 laps. And I remember thinking that, okay, well, we're not going to hear from Daly for the rest of the day. And then you look up with about 2 laps left, and you're like, oh, my God, like he's contending for a podium here. So good for Connor.
It was a good run.
And hopefully he can carry some of that momentum over.
You know, one of the things I noticed is I was drinking my milk, and they were zooming in on me, thank you, because the milk is fantastic. I have wonderful hair, don't I, for my age?
It's not bad. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's not bad.
I mean, it looks good, really.
It does. I actually watched a video of us, and this is no one looked this up. There's a video of us on YouTube interviewing Jim Rome from Super Bowl Radio Row in 2012, and you look like 30 years younger than you are right now because your hair's like jet black, and I've got whatever. I've got like that leftover from the mid to late 2000s chin goatee that luckily I ditched halfway through year 1
Was I heavy?
of the show. No, you had gotten heavier like
Earlier
year
than that.
2, year 3 of the show when we were doing remotes all the time and you were getting cheeseburgers, and that's when you got that picture of you that you told me I'm never allowed to send, or else I'm not going to say what you told me. It was vulgar, what you would do to me. There's a picture of you on who was it that drove a moped to visit us? Was that Crispy?
I forgot about that. No, that was Justin.
Greenwood Justin, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he had like DUIs or something maybe, and nice guy. Whatever happened to him? I haven't heard from him in a while. Okay.
That before you
Hopefully
said
there were
so.
no moped incidents. But he drove his moped to our studio, and Jake was like, I want to whirl around this moped. And there's a picture of Jake on the moped where you were at your heaviest at that point.
No doubt.
And you told me I was banned from
I'm
ever
creeping
sending
up towards
photo.
that right now, weight-wise.
Oh, get out of here. No, you're not. You were much heavier then. And I was about 15, 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah, you were. We both
I mean, a
were.
lot of it was muscle. I was really, like, going crazy gym stuff. So muscle weighs more than fat. Yours was just flab.
Where were you working out back then?
Cardinal Fitness. Do you remember those gyms?
Yeah.
Before they closed. I was at Cardinal Fitness.
Surprised it being named after a bird. You went there.
And then it was Planet Fitness right after that. Cardinal Fitness on Southport Road, which became, I think, Bubba's, and then it became Southport Bar and Grill, and then it became Whiskey Business. Our
that's
friends,
cool.
yeah. Mike and Jared at Whiskey Business now own that spot.
Derek, if you are looking, and by the way, congratulations to Connor Daly, our American Dairy Association of Indiana Winners Drink Milk winner of the week. And if you want to see who it is that might be drinking the milk in Victory Lane after the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race, don't wait any longer because you can get your tickets right here, right, Derek?
Thanks
Not
to our
from
friends
us, but
at onlyindytickets.com. They had great deals on Grand Prix tickets. They've got great deals on tickets for the 500 as well. Onlyindytickets.com. 100% worry-free guarantee.
beautiful.
Anything
They're
really
zooming in.
that's going on for the month of May. They've even got Carb Day concert tickets up there, and they've got great concert tickets as well for all across Indy at IndyTickets.com. But an exciting announcement, Jake. They're having a new giveaway for later this summer. Only Indy Tickets through Query and Schultz, a partnership. That's what we like to do here.
Okay.
For a great rock concert coming up, Old National Center.
Guns N' Roses.
Old National Center,
Oasis.
August 10th. No, think harder.
Noel Gallagher.
Think harder rock than that.
Harder rock than Guns N' Roses?
I
mean, it can't be AC/DC.
Same level of Guns N' Roses, harder rock than
Metallica.
Oasis. A little bit less than Metallica, I think most people would say. It kind of depends on the track, honestly, but they rock a little less
Def
hard
Leppard.
than Metallica. Is that the one-arm guy?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Foo Fighters.
Around that same genre, yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Sure, that around that same prestige level
Stone
too.
Temple Pilots.
Higher prestige.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins I love Smashing Pumpkins. They haven't been relevant in a long time. This band has stayed relevant for a quarter century, rocking across the globe.
Hold on, rocking all over the world. What was the name of that band? It was British. People loved them over there in England.
Monkeys?
No, hold on. Monkeys?
I don't know. I tried.
The Monkeys.
They have 2 tickets available giveaway
2 tickets to Don Henley.
for Query and Schultz.
Eddie Money.
Via Query and Schultz.
Is Eddie Money
August
still with
10th.
us?
It's a Wednesday night, Old National Center, to see beloved rock trio Hanson. So if you go to onlyindytickets.com right now, you go right to their homepage and you can register. Win 2 Hanson tickets at Old National Center.
Status Quo.
Enter
That's
to
the
win.
band that's rocking all over the world. Status Quo.
Watch Query and Schultz. We will reveal the winner coming up Sunday. The contest closes Sunday, May 22nd, and we will reveal the winner on next week's show. So you got a week to win this Hanson giveaway.
Derek, Only Indy Tickets is a local business, right?
Yep.
Tickets to anything that you need. Concerts, sporting events.
100%.
Guaranteed tickets.
Guaranteed.
No
Worry-free guarantee.
scams,
Yep.
worry-free
You got it.
guarantee. Fabulous company.
Great.
They placed a call to us, Query and Schultz, to ask if we want to partner in promotion for ticket giveaways.
They gave me a creative license to pick what would generate the most buzz. So I said, well, by far, what would generate the most buzz, if we're just talking like national presence, but happens to be in Indianapolis, national and international presence, really. I mean, they had 6 songs that charted across the world. Did Hanson. It would be Hanson. So that's what I chose.
They came to us to ask, out of all the events that they have, Colts tickets, Pacers tickets, Indy 500,
all that stuff,
tickets at Deer Creek or whatever it's called now, tickets at White River, and you go with Hanson?
You're thinking way too inside the box here. Like, yes, okay, Colts, Pacers. I love the Colts. I love the Pacers. That's too Indy-centric. I'm trying to expand our brand beyond just the Indy Metro to, globally, really. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'd like to conquer the United States first. And so I was thinking, what has the most wide-ranging appeal? And much more so than the Pacers and Colts, there are more Hanson fans in this country than for either of those teams combined. Really. I mean, you take all the NFL teams combined, then maybe you'd have a fan base that rivals Hanson's, but that's about what you would have to do.
If you would like tickets to an actual event, sporting, music, entertainment, that you can still talk about when you go to work on Monday, Only Indy Tickets has you covered.
And our Hanson giveaway. OnlyIndyTickets.com. So you can enter today. And we will reveal the winner next week. I'm excited. I'm geeked about it.
Are you going with them?
Oh, no, I'm not part of it. You take the tickets for yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been to many a Hanson show already. I've already had my face melted off by their hard rock. We come back. NBA Conference Finals are set. Some surprises in there for once, which doesn't usually happen with the NBA. Our Love That Play as well as we continue here. Episode 86, Query and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood Financial Group here on ISC Sports Network.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Indiana dairy farmers provide us with safe, pure foods for our tables. A responsibility that takes intuition, resolve, and determination to make sure their milk is good for you and delicious to taste. Their connection with our community runs deep, passed down through the generations, ensuring that milk is always available at your store. It's not easy being a dairy farmer, but the rewards have special meaning when you can feed Indiana's families every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
Welcome back to Query and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood, who you saw just there. BAWFG.com is their website. We have finally calmed down Derek from his excitement over the fact that Hanson is apparently partnering with Only Indie Tickets, or we are partnering with Only Indie Tickets to get you.
Hanson, rock show, onlyindietickets.com right now for our giveaway. You like rock music. I don't know why you don't like Hanson.
Because they suck?
Well, you're wrong. Or I shouldn't say you're wrong. Your ears and brain don't work properly if you think that way. How about this for Bailey & Wood Financial Group, Jake? Indy Star recognized them as the top workplace of 2022. Kind of a cool honor to have, right?
Totally.
Mike Wood posting that over the weekend, so we wanted to give Bailey & Wood their flowers for that. I mean, that's the culture that Mike
that's very cool.
was able to build with his
and
team.
And that same kind of culture and feeling. I mean, look, you go down to their golf outing and you see the money they're raising for other people, and you realize that extends to when you're a customer, you're treated that way, right?
They were the perfect partnership for us because they're very locally centric,
right,
and they love the community, and they put their money where their mouth is, if you will. Like they give back to those communities that they're active in.
And they don't like Hanson.
I don't know if that's true. Mike loves the Dolphins. I'm not sure what his musical stylings are, but I would assume that he has been touched by Hanson.
Clearly, he probably likes Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Darius Rucker is the biggest Dolphins fan that there is, I think.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs, conference finals are set, and a couple of surprises in there. I'm surprised, I guess. I'm not surprised that Boston's in the conference finals. I'm surprised that they had their hearts ripped out in Game 5, and you're going back to Milwaukee, and then you won 2 straight. And generally, you lose a game like that, you're done.
But you knew when they won Game 6, it was over.
See, even with Giannis, though, and that Bucks team that's so used to doing it.
And listen, I love Giannis. Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Incredible.
Last year, we saw the arrival of Giannis as a superstar. Jason Tatum is doing it right now.
But think about what, Williams and Pritchard and some of the bit pieces.
Well, I mean, Jaylen Brown's a wonderful
for the
player.
Celtics. Well, sure, but I'm talking like some of like the guys that you don't even think about and what they did in that Game 7. If there's a disappointment for me, it's that the Game 7, really both of them were so one-sided. The Celtics game, at least you kept it on. I mean, the Suns-Mavericks game is one of the most feeble defeats I have ever seen in an elimination game for what is supposed to be a superior team. In the NBA, the beauty of it, to me, I want the regular season to matter. And the beauty of the NBA is that 90% of the time, the team that was better during the regular season wins the best of 7 series. That was not the case with Suns-Mavericks, right? I think we'd all agree. Like, Luka may be the best player on the floor. There's no question that on paper, Phoenix is a superior team to Dallas.
I know, but man, listen.
But they got destroyed in that game. They had 50 points through 3 quarters.
Here's what's staggering to me about the NBA.
27 and a half.
What's staggering to me about the NBA is, and it's cool. I mean, this is a fun thing about the NBA. I'm old enough that I was an adult when Reggie Miller had his 25 points in the fourth quarter against the Knicks for 39 total points in that game. I just remember, 39 points. I'm like, this guy had 39 points, and it was legendary. It's the greatest single performance in the history of this franchise. And I'm walking around like 39, 25 and a quarter. Derek, those are like average numbers now for these guys.
They'll average that for the series. Yeah.
Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Giannis, all these guys are putting up 35, 40 points like it's nothing.
Yeah.
With 10 assists and 8 rebounds. It's Joel Embiid.
Well, and
the numbers these guys are putting up is amazing.
The scores are just different, right? Because a lot of those Knicks-Pacers games were like 87, 85.
Right,
And now, you've got 120 to 110. Also, for as good as Reggie was, Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum are two of the 5 best players in the league.
I know.
Reggie Miller was never one of the 10 best players in the league. And he was a Hall of Fame. He was a great player, but obviously the playoffs he had it on a whole different level. Maybe you'd say certainly a top 10 playoff performer. But these guys just take over games and what they can do, similar to what Reggie did
in 1995, 6. He got hurt. So we'll say 98 because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. In 1998, how many players in the NBA were definitively, unequivocally better than Reggie Miller?
Just to make sure that I don't mess it up.
No, I realize that he was never a first or second.
But just let me look so I know. I don't want to leave anybody out. I think part of it is a problem because he played in an era with a lot of great guards. So a lot of the All NBA stuff, there's only 2 slots on an All NBA first team. Why can't I find it?
I'm looking right now. I'm just making a list off the top of my head of players that are better.
He never actually made an All-NBA second team, right? He made third team 3 times.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't remember what years they were.
In 1998, here are the players that were definitively better. Olajuwon, would you agree, or was he on his downside by then?
I think I'd still agree with that.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Drexler?
I'm going to look at points right here. So here are the league leaders in points and how many players were definitively better.
Here are the guys I came up with. Olajuwon, Jordan, Drexler, Barkley, Robinson, Pippen, Stockton, and Malone. Are we going to go Mitch Richmond? Okay.
Shaq, Karl Malone, Jordan,
Pippen.
And David Robinson still playing really high level.
Pippen?
Yeah. I think Pippen for a career certainly was, and 98 would have been around the same peak because they came out at the same time.
Penny Hardaway was already hurt by then, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Penny was out of the picture by then.
Yeah.
Penny, you'd have to do Penny's peak would have been 95, 96.
Right.
Before all the injuries started happening. Garnett was too young at that point. Clyde Drexler was still a good player.
But my point being, he's in that, so 10 to 15.
Yeah, Reggie Miller was the 18th leading scorer in the NBA that year. And that's kind of how you always measured Reggie. I think he was a better defender than people gave him credit for, but he was mostly a
smart player too.
He was mostly a one-trick pony. He was a scorer. That's what Reggie Miller did. Oh yeah, for sure.
By the way, it's time for Love That Play, brought to you by the good guys at Love Heating and Air Conditioning, love-hvac.com. That's love-hvac.com. 317-353-2141, their telephone number, 317-353-2141. And again, Love Heating and Air Conditioning, fabulous customer service, been around over 100 years, family-owned business, now in its 4th generation, commitment to the customer service and product, and 24-hour on-call maintenance. I've known them my whole life. Folks, listen, if you are listening to this program, watching it, whatever it might be, I appreciate that, and I do not want to steer you in the wrong direction. And when it comes to things like your furnace, your air conditioning, there are a lot of people out there you really want to find somebody you can trust. That's exactly what you get from Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Derek, our Love That Play favorite play of the weekend is?
It wasn't one play, but actually, you know what? I will pick a play.
The play of, right?
Right before halftime, the Mavericks are up 27. They're in the final minute. They're playing in Phoenix in Elimination Game 7. And Luka just, I forget who was even defending him, shoves his defender aside essentially and just knocks a three right in his face and just starts jawing at the crowd. And even at that point, Jake, you still have a whole half to go. You're up 30.
He knows it's over.
It's over. I mean, it was done. It was like the TKO blow, not only of the game, but of the entire series. And that's what having the best player on the floor is the ultimate equalizer in the NBA. It's kind of the blessing and the curse of it. The Pacers have so rarely had the best player on the floor. Even when they've had the best team, they've lost. You know, another series that I thought of where the superior team lost, and I'll always believe this, the 2018 Pacers were a better team than LeBron's Cavs. The Oladipo breakout year?
The 98 Pacers were a better team than the 98 Bulls.
They were very close. I don't
Scottie Pippen fouled Mark Jackson 37 times in the second half of that game.
Yeah, well, it's always some conspiracy with Pacers fans, I know, for every
that team
loss.
Was good.
That team was great. The 98 Pacers were great. Were they the 98 Bulls? I mean, they were great. They gave them the toughest series that they had during that entire run, and Pacers fans should wear that with a sense of pride.
72-win Bulls. Only team to beat them. Split with them.
But that was 96, right?
I know,
okay.
I know.
Yeah.
But then they added some pieces. Mullen was playing still well at 98 and a high level. They're good, man.
Look, I'm not going to argue that was definitively the best Pacers team of their NBA era.
Right.
And I think anybody that is, I know Mark Monteith has said that. Anybody that was around the team, Donnie's admitted that, right?
Yeah.
That the 98 team was their best team. Better than the team that went to the finals or any of those other ones.
Correct.
But I just think that it's very rare that you have a team. I think the difference between the Pacers team and the Cavs in that series was that the Pacers outplayed the Cavs in that series, but the Cavs had LeBron. And so, the goaltending, remember where he pinned it against the backboard that they didn't call? Like, there were some calls that went the other way in that series.
Solomon Hill made a lot of money in that series, off that series, right?
Just that year in general. Would he still have been there for that team?
That was he had a nice series.
Okay.
Then, by the way,
I'm trying to think back in my head. All the years kind of run together for me. But
I'm ready to enjoy some Hank's Birch beer.
Yeah, you ready to do it?
And some Hoagie and Hops.
Let's do that. Instead of Hoagies of the week, we've got our hot dogs of the week, and we're going to come back with that next.
Is this a twist?
I have to go back to the break room. Can you handle the show by yourself for a little bit? I've got to nuke some of that stuff as well in the microwave. Christina cooked it for me this morning when I went to go pick it up at the shop. And they're technically closed on Mondays. That's how great of a client that they are. So I'm going to run back there. I'm going to sprint back there.
Okay.
Warm everything up, and then I'll come back.
You do that.
With everything. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
Indiana dairy farmers provide us with safe, pure foods for our tables. A responsibility that takes intuition, resolve, and determination to make sure their milk is good for you and delicious to taste. Their connection with our community runs deep, passed down through the generations, ensuring that milk is always available at your store. It's not easy being a dairy farmer, but the rewards have special meaning when you can feed Indiana's families every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is good.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, three, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Lynn's way.
Wrestler!
Wrestler! Whoa!
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
Welcome back to Query and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood. BAWFG.com is their website. By the way, I did misspeak. before we get to our Hoagie and Hops, Hoagie of the Week. Derek is out preparing that apparently right now. And talking about Solomon Hill, I had said that Solomon Hill made a lot of money off that Cleveland series in 2016. I misspoke. I actually was a year late in my assumption. It was against Toronto, which is seemingly kind of one of those forgotten 7-game series the Pacers have had when they went against the Raptors, who I believe were the 1 seed, and the Pacers took them to 7 games in the 2015-2016 season. And Solomon Hill played really well in that game. I remember thinking that Solomon Hill and Paul George, the two of them were really good wing defenders working alongside one another, and that perhaps Solomon Hill would be a nice piece moving forward for the Pacers to go along with Paul George. And then, of course, you know, he got thrown a ton of money, and New Orleans signed him away to $50+ million. And at the time, it seemed like a blow for the Pacers, but when you get into the salary that it would have cost to maintain him, he was a nice player and looked like a guy that could have been a piece, but certainly not to the tune. And that's the challenge you get into with rosters, is when you know that teams are going to come in and overpay for somebody, and you really have to have that kind of self-control to make sure that you don't get into a bidding war with a player that in reality is a role player for you when somebody else pays them as a mainline player. And Indiana, in that situation, staved the temptation to match that offer. Solomon Hill went away. Still around, I think, playing in the league, but certainly a bit player at that. Speaking of the Pacers and players, obviously this week we will know where they are drafting in the draft. And the statistics say, and I had a dream. I had like this very realistic dream that they were locked in as the 7th pick in the draft. And statistically speaking, it's all signs point towards the fact that they will be, in fact, the 7th pick. What do we have here, Derek? Now, this looks spectacular.
It's got the dogs right meow.
It's a little warm.
Well, it's supposed to be warm. Don't eat it yet. We got to talk about it first. So what I have here is 2 dogs. So not just hoagies at Hoagies and Hops. They have delicious sides, which we've talked about in the past. But they have delicious cheesesteaks and hot dogs, too. So hot sandwiches. So what I have here in my hand is the PA Dutch dog.
Okay.
And this guy has got
Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, Nathan's all beef.
Why is your hand trembling like that? Are you nervous?
Because I was running. Sorry. Nathan's all beef. Remember the Lebanon bologna that we had on the sandwich before? Pickle, horsey mayo on a nice bun here. What you have is the Freedom Dog. Christina created this around the 4th of July, but it's basically her delicious cheesesteak toppings on top of a hot dog. So you've got ribeye, fried onions, whiz, and pepper relish.
Cheese whiz.
Yeah, and you love the cheesesteak.
I do.
So let's go ahead and dive into these.
Why are you sweating?
Well, wrong. Oh, my God. It's good. It's a really good dog. Because you don't think of cheesesteak and hot dog going together until you have it, and you're like, oh, yeah, this works. Just give me all the meat possible. That's what I always say.
Pretty unbelievable.
HoagiesandHops.com, 42nd and Boulevard. And they are hiring right now as well. Some extra help for the kitchen staff. And the good thing is competitive pay, but also free Hoagies and Hops. And also a discount on chili water brew right next door. But Christina also loaded us with these 2 Hank's sodas. So this is from PA. I'm not familiar with Hank's. I know some of the PA stuff, like the Hers chips, because we used to get those in Connecticut.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, people say PA out there, though. And this is the vanilla cream soda. Did you not want me to put my mouth on it because you want to try it? You want to try there? There you go. Well, why'd you put your mouth on it? Now I can't have any more. No, now I don't want it. Now give me the birch beer. I specifically said don't put your mouth on it.
I already drank that.
There we go. Did you put your mouth on this?
No, not at all.
Why are you laughing?
No, it's a pandemic.
See, I like that. That's like a sweeter
very good
root beer, and that's just a straight cream soda. But all the PA offerings,
Pennsylvania,
at Hoagies and Hops. Did you mention who our hero of the week was?
I did not.
That's right, because you don't do any prep for this show at all. There was a no-hitter last week. Is it just because we're in like a baseball, football market?
It's not official.
That we don't think of it?
Not officially a no-hitter.
Well, this one was.
You talking about last night's?
No. I'm talking about the Angels one.
Okay,
this was an actual no-hitter. Remember, like, when you were a kid, when somebody threw no-hitter, I felt like it led Sports Center.
My dad would,
it
Jake,
was
you
like
gotta come
a
down.
huge deal. And now somebody throws a no-hitter and you're just like, whatever. Reed Detmers did it for the Angels. 22 years old. He's the youngest pitcher to throw a no-no since Anibal Sanchez did it in 2006 with the Marlins. Was he I forget, was he the one that was robbed of the perfect game?
No, that was
the Tigers pitcher. Not Galarraga. No, yes,
Angel Hernandez?
No, that's the umpire.
Who was
Galarraga?
Rake, who was a pitcher? Galarraga sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I get him and Sanchez mixed up for some reason. But
I'm surprised
he was a good pitcher.
Considering it was the Angels and it's a no-hitter, I'm surprised you don't call it a halo. Hey, they threw a halo.
Yeah. No, maybe we'll do that. Why don't you submit that one over to the Angels and see what they say. 12th no-hitter in Angels history.
Really?
You know what's crazy to me?
Did Nolan Ryan throw one as an Angel?
How many teams do you think have more than 12 no-hitters?
6. 10.
More.
20. Boy, this is really good.
A dozen teams have more no-hitters than that. The Dodgers.
I said 12. You said more.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was 13 for some reason. The Dodgers have the major league record for no-hitters thrown. You want to guess how many?
I mean, you got Sandy Koufax had 4 of them, right?
Did he really have that many? Wow.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan threw his 5th no-hitter against the Dodgers. Dusty Baker grounded out to get him his 5th. I'm going to say that the Dodgers have had 21 no-hitters.
Cool. Cool.
You want to get back to me on that?
26.
Okay.
26 no-hitters.
It's all right here,
I get a Horsey Mayo in there? I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. So all-time lead, 26 for the Dodgers. There are actually 4 defunct teams that have more no-hitters than the San Diego Padres.
I was going to say the Padres only have 1, right?
Padres only have 1.
Okay, the defunct teams, kind of name them?
I don't have the list in front of me anymore. Yeah. I was just looking this up last night because I was prepping for the show because I do prep for the show and you don't.
It sounds like it. Mm-hmm. I just rattled off all that stuff off the top of my head. I asked you one question. I don't know. I didn't look it up. Okay.
So go get a delicious dog.
What prep is that?
A delicious hoagie, a delicious cheesecake, cheese steak. You can get the cheesecake bites at Hoagies and Hops. Just
closest,
all deliciousness.
Closest I get to prep is when I pass
42nd and Boulevard, hoagiesandhops.com. Let's get to our friends at Quick Hits and Stewart Tire and Auto because you spent the Saturday.
I did.
Besides with me tooling around in the golf cart with Darren King, who is the owner, along with his wife Crystal of Stewart Tire and Auto, Stop 13 Road in Indianapolis. Anything underneath the hood of their car that you need, not just tires. I know it says tires, but everything from the basic stuff to oil changes to brakes, rotors, motor stuff. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. Darren's a car guy, and he and his team are going to take care of you.
Derek, that's the biggest thing. He told me, he was like, Jake, if I don't have integrity to build my business on, then I don't have anything. And that's huge when it comes to car stuff, right? Because, I mean, he's told me, he's like, Jake, we were up there in the perch when he spotted for me, and we obviously had some time to kill because we were under weather delays. And he said, the number one thing, Jake, that I love about my business is people will come in, and the ultimate compliment to him is they'll come in and they'll say, listen, I got to get to work. I know something's rattling. I'm going to drop my car off. My wife's going to take me into work. Just do whatever you got to do, and if it gets over a certain amount, you let me know. And he's like, and that's the ultimate compliment because people know they can trust him. Yep. He's not, he's not just going to make stuff up.
No.
And that's how he's built his business.
I think depending on what side of town you're on, this is not unique to this side of town. But when I first moved to Indianapolis, I lived on the south side for 7 or 8 years. So Beech Grove, South Side, Southport, and Emerson, kind of down over there. And Darren just reminds me of, like, I just wrote that piece on Jimmy Mad Dog Matus for Indy Monthly for his retirement. Darren reminds me of that ilk, like just the quintessential South Side, just a nice dude. Let's go have a beer in your garage. That kind of guy. And just down home and honest and genuine, and they're going to take great care of you at Stewart Tire and Auto. Quick hit number 1. Alec Pierce is going to be a future Pro Football Hall of Famer. I'm not sure you heard about rookie camp, but he was just crazy.
Got dehydrated.
Over-under on yards. I'm not going to go too nuts here, but over-under on yards for this year, I'd say 15 hundo receiving yards for Alec Pierce, based on how he looked in Colts rookie minicamp.
Okay.
Look, I'm encouraged, okay, that he looked good. It's good for your top pick to look good. But I'm just, Jake, I'm not going to do it this year with the receivers.
I get it.
I'm just not. I'm not going to talk about Westfield and, Paris Campbell looks great. I don't care. I don't care how Paris Campbell looks in July and August. I want Paris Campbell to look great in October, November, and December.
And it takes a while for receivers.
Yep. So I think it's great. I'm hopeful that Pierce gives them something this year and contributes something. Even if he's their third guy, that's great. But the wide receiver stuff to me is a big question mark.
Right. No
big,
doubt.
huge question mark. Reds, you had mentioned this. No hit the Pirates, but lose.
Unbelievable.
They become
sixth time.
That's what I was just going to say.
Well,
I'm the one that's leading all the quick hits here. I prepped the show, so just let me take the show here. All right.
Do you?
This is the sixth time in Major League Baseball history that a team has yielded no hits and lost. They gave up.
Okay.
They gave up the run on walk, RBI ground out. That's how they lost. And that happened in the eighth inning. Hunter Green and Art Warren combined on the 0 hits in 8 innings. And I don't know, Jake, it's already a lost season. And they lost. But maybe something to build on. You want to see Hunter Green, right? You want to see him become a star. So fine, I'll choose to spin this in a positive way. And they've played better baseball the last week or so. They actually won 3 of 4
If they
at
can play
one
the
point.
Pirates every week, good Lord.
That's the thing. I mean, you have two basically AAA teams in the Pirates and Reds playing each other. Did you see the Drew Brees tweet and speculation? Did you guys talk about this at all in the morning
I thought I
show?
heard for sure that he's out at NBC.
Well, that's what they're reporting. He says he's not out at NBC. But
I heard he wasn't any good.
Andrew Marchand, who's kind of like the ombudsman of sports media, is the one that reported that Brees is out at NBC and maybe even out as Notre Dame analyst too. And there's been a revolving door for NBC for Notre Dame analysts.
I heard he just wasn't very good on television. Nice guy.
It's hard to be interesting. And we were just having a conversation about this person. You know who I think is just not good on television? And I hate to say it because he's got a great personality and he's a beloved figure here. I find Reggie Miller to be completely mediocre and uninteresting as a color broadcaster.
I think he sounds like he's forcing. He tries too hard.
I mean, even in the game yesterday where, they're down 40 and he's saying like if this score holds. And I'm like, dude, this game is over.
Right. Like
the beauty of it. Not everybody likes Mark Jackson. The beauty of Mark Jackson is that Mark Jackson will get on there and be like, this is a travesty. Like, what the hell is this? What are you guys doing out here? And I wish Reggie, for as cutthroat as he was as a player, I think he's real.
That's fair.
He's real soft. I feel like, and he'll say stuff off the air, like he criticized Ben Simmons, but I think even on the air, he can be a little more boisterous than he is.
That's fair.
Anyway, getting back to Brees, he tweeted that he is, quote unquote, undecided for his future. Notably saying, I may play football again. And the Saints and Dennis Allen, it's weird to say not Sean Payton as the head coach, said that was just a joke
news to them,
apparently. So, I don't know. Take that for whatever.
He said he was going to play pickleball, Derek.
Hopefully Drew Brees' hair survives because, as you've noticed, I don't know if he got like a transplant or what the deal was.
Mine's
but
not looking bad.
His hair looked a lot better this time around. Got to wrap up the show next.
Okay.
Couple of closing thoughts. Sage move of the week. Bite or bull bleep as well. And we'll get to all of that when we return for a final time here on Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back to Corey and Schultz. Time for our WGU Indiana Sage Move of the Week, brought to you by WGU Indiana. Listen, you know, there's 700,000 Hoosiers out there that have college credits that are sitting on a shelf where they did not finish their degree. I'm actually one of them, so I can tell you a little bit about online schooling. I love it because it has the flexibility to allow you to work on your schedule and work at the pace that, of course, you've got to get everything done within a time frame, but, you know, work when things open up for you a little bit. WGU Indiana is Indiana's largest online accredited university, largest accredited online university. And it has classes there, whether you're simply starting out, whether you're looking to finish a degree, if you're like Derek's wife and you want certification in something like nursing to finish that degree, all of it is available at wgu.edu/Indiana because ambition never rests. Neither does Sage the Owl. That's why we love him. That's why we love WGU, and they bring us each and every week, Derek, our Sage Move of the Week. My nominee for this, we go back to a topic from earlier in the show. The GMR Grand Prix of Indianapolis on Saturday was determined to be a wet race at the beginning of the race. That means that all teams have to start on rain tires. Then it becomes a question of when do you switch over to the tires that are faster, your primary slick black tires. Colton Herta's team with his father, Brian Herta, made the decision to make that switch early, long before everybody else. He and Takuma Sato came in. He was running in 14th. He comes in, he makes that change, he gets on the slick tires. It was not fun, I'm sure, for a couple of laps there. But then the track dries out and everybody else has to come in and make that change, and he's off and running. Gets himself up to the front and wins the race. Sage Move of the Week.
Yeah, and what was also interesting was that he made the mistake of going back to the, if I'm not mistaken, the rain tires around lap 59, but it didn't hurt him because everybody else did the same thing.
Right.
So Brian Herta even joked on the NBC broadcast with Kevin Lee that if we're wrong, we're all wrong. And everybody ended up being wrong, so, you know, it didn't matter. It didn't end up being relevant to the outcome of the race.
But that is our Sage Move of the Week, brought to you by, again, wgu.edu/Indiana, your online accredited university where you can finish that degree because ambition never rests. Derek, time for Bite or Bullshit, right?
Chateau Kitchens.
How about this one, Bite or Bullshit? Bill Simmons says the Pacers may be in discussion with DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns in a sign-and trade that would send Miles Turner and Chris Duarte to Phoenix.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know that I would do it because I think Ayton's a nice player.
He's going to want max money.
But Duarte is a really good piece.
Yeah.
Chris Duarte's a guy that if he is your fifth or sixth option, you're pretty good. If he's a second or third option for you, you're not a very good team.
Yeah, I mean, I would raise that. I think if he's your fourth guy, you're okay.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're splitting hairs a little bit there. I think what I worry about with this deal, and when Rakestraw just told us during the timeout about this is exactly what I said. I think you're trading two guys who do not have superstar potential for another guy who probably has more superstar potential than either of those guys, but to me is not going to be a superstar.
It's a good player.
Like I think Ayton's going to have a great career and
is
be
a
a really
player,
nice player.
Derek. It's just at a position that I don't know that you
and
need
you got to
him.
pay him like a superstar is
Right.
the other problem. And I think when you run into problems is when you're giving superstar money to guys who aren't superstars.
We had him on.
And you had that with John Wall. You had that with, there have been umpteen examples of that over the years in the NBA.
Didn't we interview him on Pit Road? Nice guy, right?
Who?
DeAndre Ayton. Or not Pit Road.
Yeah, that's what Pit Row, you threw me off. Yes. But remember, we were given implicit instructions. This was right when the Sean Miller stuff broke at Arizona, and they said, you cannot talk about that. And I was just like, guys, it's like the biggest story of the week, and now we're going to have Ayton on, and we can't talk about it. So I think before he went over there, you and I really went out of our way to preface by saying, hey, we are not going to talk about this.
You're going to interview the director of security at Ford's Theater, but do not ask him about our American cousin. Yeah.
You have him on because he's going to be the number one pick in the draft, right? And he was a nice dude.
He was,
and there were some interesting things, not U.S. born and all of that, and transitioning, and
he can't be president.
All of that. We didn't get into the fact that he couldn't be president, I don't think, but the fact that we couldn't talk about the elephant in the room with him was There were only a small handful of times in our run together
think if an elephant
where
was in
we
a
were
room,
instructed what we could and could not talk about.
People would talk about that, right?
Bill Polian was another one where you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that.
If you went into a room and there was an elephant, wouldn't you say, well, there's an elephant over there in the room?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Seems like
that's
a weird
why the
figure of
saying
speech.
is the way that it is, because it's impossible not to notice the elephant.
Well, I know, but
That's why they call it that. What's the elephant in the room? Because everybody's like, oh, there's no elephant in here, no big deal. It's a saying that actually makes sense. Elephants are super cool, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
They eat people sometimes. You know that? There have been cases where
No.
they've found like human bones in elephant stomachs. Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
No,
I saw a special on it. Was it on A&E? I think it was like one of those cable channels that doesn't exist anymore, actually, where an elephant like ate a guy.
They have great memories.
Yeah, and they also they remembered eating that
They
person.
have emotions, too, and stuff like that.
I know. They're beautiful animals. They really are.
Do you know...
Can we get to Biter Bullshits now?
Did you know I got to wash one of the elephants at the zoo?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know why?
Why?
It's a pack of germs. Okay.
What was it? I don't get it.
Okay, well, tonight about 2 a.m. you will, and you'll laugh.
You got to wash the elephant because of a pack of germs?
Is a pack of germ. Yeah, that's what he is. Pack of germs. Yep.
Are you guys back there? Do you understand this reference? I don't know what that is. Pack of germs?
Yeah. Okay.
Like he was dirty?
No, actually, not dirty at all. Very coarse.
Is that like a scientific? He's a pack of germ. Is that like a scientific like species or
Now
something?
you're on to something,
Okay.
Derek. There you go.
I've never heard that term in my life. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's a pachyderm.
Pachyderm?
Pachyderm. Yeah, pachyderm.
What else is a pachyderm? Like a rhino?
Elephants.
Would a rhino be one?
And a pachyderm, strictly speaking, is a marsupial, but with horns.
Kangaroo.
Ivory tusks.
Marsupial.
They have tusks.
Surprised you didn't know that.
Huh?
Kangaroo.
Not marsupial. I'm sorry. Reptile. It's a reptile with tusks.
See, like
That's a
we
pachyderm.
should put a disclaimer in
That's
front
what
of every show.
They have hair.
Especially
Elephants.
with
They
like
have little-
misinformation
They
and
have
fake
little
news.
hair. Okay.
Don't take anything that we say seriously that doesn't have to do directly with like the Colts or Pacers or IndyCar.
That's right.
And even that stuff.
We are
take
not
seriously.
asking you to use this program to inform and educate your children.
Oh, boy. Yeah, please do not do that. ChateauKitchens.com, at Chateau Kitchens, Facebook and Instagram for before and after pictures. They got done with my bathroom, and I'll tease this for next week. Before and after pictures of the Schultz guest bathroom next week on the show. Stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Excited about that. Here's what we do. I give a statement,
Before
Jake and
or
I go
after
back
their
and
work
forth,
or my visit?
whether we buy it or it's bull bleep. You ready for statement
Yes.
one? This year's Suns are one of the biggest chokes in league history. Buy it or bull bleep?
Nah.
Oh, it's up there.
No, you could go back to last year's was one of the great overachieves.
It's up there.
Water found its level.
Jake, they lost 18 games all year. And then they got beat by the Mavs. Like, it's one thing. If the Suns would have lost to the Warriors or whatever, you'd say, okay, they've got a championship pedigree. The Mavericks?
I get you.
And I know the Mavericks since Christmas have been a better team, and they got Luka and all of that, but I'm shocked. This is one of the more shocking NBA playoff results that I can remember.
Who was the star of that TV show Maverick?
Was that the did they have like the asterisk in front of between all the words? Is that show?
No, Maverick.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. You're thinking of MASH.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't know what Maverick is.
Okay. I think James Garner was in it, but I'm not positive.
Who shot JR?
No.
Is that
was-
Maverick?
No, that was Dallas.
Okay, well I'm close because Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
Was it
James
a-
Garner, Maverick. Yeah,
Was
what
it
do
a
you know?
soap?
Huh?
Was it a soap?
A soap?
Like a soap opera?
No, it was like a cowboy show.
God, you guys had all those cowboy
American
shows.
Western television series with comedic overtones.
Why were people so into that when you were of that age? Like Bonanza and like, why were people like really into that stuff? It's weird to me.
Of my age.
Yeah. Well, you're old. Like old people really like old shows like that. Like
Maverick ran from 1957 to 1962. How old do you think I am?
oh, I thought it was from that era. How do you know about it then?
I don't know, Derek, because I'm aware of things that came around before I was born.
1950s television? I mean, I've heard of I Love Lucy, but I don't
Okay,
know.
well,
the
same
rest
thing.
of it, I don't really
All right,
know
what's
any
our
of it.
last one here?
Another Indy 500 win would put Will Power among the greats in American open wheel history.
Oh, he's already there.
Yeah, I think he's really underappreciated, don't you? Mm-hmm. He very easily could have 3 or 4 points championships.
He's great.
And I think we think of Scott Dixon being like the clear pound for pound. Scott Dixon, I think, will be remembered as a superior driver to Will Power, but I think the gap is minuscule between those two, honestly.
You know, he's a drummer, and so is Colton Herta.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that on the radio show because I listen, because I like to support my friends, unlike some people that are in this room.
Your radio
final one. Anybody but the Warriors would be a good result for the NBA. Bite or bull bleep?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't know. It'd be kind of a cool story for the Warriors to come all the way back and win.
Man.
I mean, the Mavs, does that do anything for you?
Lucas,
the
cool.
Heat? We're just kind of sleeping on the Heat, aren't we? No one's talking about them.
My
And just
Dan,
watch.
my
They'll
buddy
win
Dan.
they'll win like a really lame NBA Finals in 5 games. I think it's going to be Boston. I think the winner of that Boston, to me, especially with Phoenix out now, I think the Celtics, to me, are the championship favorite, especially with Tatum playing at that level. Thanks to all of our great sponsors today. Lou Malnati's, Bailey & Wood Financial Group, our friends at Hoagies Hops, Stewart Tire and Auto, Chateau Kitchens, winnersdrinkmilk.com, American Dairy Association, Indiana.
Love Heating and Air.
Only Indy tickets. Love Heating and Air.
Lou Malnati's, Derek.
Yeah, and thanks to Jake as well. Jake is on a tight schedule today, and we were supposed to have everything ready for him, and I dropped the ball.
I threw a temper tantrum.
And I didn't.
I got mad at Derek.
I didn't get that text until late, so I didn't tell anybody to be prepared, and we were a little bit laid back here. And Jake starts flipping tables, man. You guys should see him. If you love him and you think he's this great person in front of the camera, I agree. When the cameras are on, Jake's a great dude. Off camera, I've seen some ugliness.
What's that guy's name? David Banner?
The Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are a little bit less muscular, but yeah, you are a little bit like that.
Okay.
We'll see you next time here on Query and Schultz. Thanks to Alan Hughes and Greg Rakestraw as well. Bye.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Throw it up for Tillman. Whoa. My goodness. 122.60 for Penn. What a swim. Six of them.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, Your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.